Dude, welcome back to Hanging Out with the Dudes. I'm your host, PC, and we've got another great episode for you today. As you can see here, we've got two guys missing. Hopefully they'll be able to come and hang out with us later. But you know, the two basketball dudes, the two kids that are from just across the border of Kansas and Missouri, taking the reins here today. So K-Stel, might as well do your intro. How are you doing this week? How's it going? All that kind of jazz.
I actually hate to say this, but I was in STL this weekend, and I didn't tell Nick Howard. I felt really bad. There was no way I was going to be able to see him. I just had too much time. It was just really crappy. But actually, before this pod happened, craziness occurred. PC, I don't know if you've heard, but the Royals have not been doing well. They have not been scoring.
Yeah, we can't score.
We need it. We need someone to come and help us, and by golly, we did. Jeff Passan, I believe. How long ago was it? Tweeted out, 22-year-old, sixth overall pick in the first round draft. Jack Caglione is getting called up Tuesday to the Kansas City Royals. He will make his MLB debut in St. Louis. The Kansas City Royals do not care about Super 2 status, which is something I cannot explain to PC or else he will explode.
Not understand.
They didn't even wait. They called him up. They don't care. This is the earliest I think he was probably ever going to get called up unless J.J. Picola was a madman and called him up in May after being in a Double-A. He's up. He is up, and he is in the Royals organization. He will be traveling to St. Louis to face Nick Howard's Cardinals. It could go, honestly, horrible. He could probably go 0 for, 12 that series. But it really doesn't matter. He's up, and that's all that matters because the Royals are so unbelievably bad with runners in scoring position. And Jack Caglione, I believe, has 57 RBIs. That would be the most with the Royals right now. The dude's an RBI machine, and he will be playing for the Royals on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's
That'd
crazy.
Be great.
That's
It'd be
crazy
great to see him call up.
We're going to see a dude.
Definitely earlier than normal. But
we're going to see a dude hit balls out of Kauffman Stadium since Jorge Soler in 2018 or 19, whenever he had the Royals 48 home runs. That's hard to do in Kauffman. But other than that, the finals were fine. My Canes suck. They suck. Hockey's over. I'm done watching it. I can't do it anymore.
It's either the Florida Panthers winning now or Edmonton Oilers. We're not big hockey guys talking on this as much. We should definitely, for the next upcoming season, kind of talk a little bit more just to hash out our sports.
Yeah, but then I'm going to talk about the same thing every year. And that my team does not make it past the conference finals.
At least yours made the playoffs. The Kraken didn't even make it to the playoffs.
Oh,
they weren't even close.
Are you a Kraken guy?
Yeah, I picked the Kraken when they came into fruition and became an actual NHL team. And they made that one run to the conference final and then haven't done anything since.
So here's my question. I became a Canes fan in 2020, 2021. I think we were allowed to just because we don't have a hockey team near us. We have the Blues, but
but we're not going to pick.
You'll find me dead. Yeah, you're going to find me dead in my grave if I root for a St. Louis team other than the Blue Hawks for football. But what happens if Kansas City ends up getting an NHL hockey team? What are we going to do? Because
we're just going to have to switch.
Dude, but I'm we're
going to have to switch. We're going to have to switch. There's no way you can't switch.
What's the time limit? Let us know in the comments. How long do we have to be a fan of our team before we are allowed to make a cordial switch over?
But it seems like that would be that would be a pretty
because I really like the Canes.
That'd be a very good excuse though to change teams. They kind of give those waivers out to college basketball players to get a fifth year once in a while. It's kind of like one of those exceptions, right? Our hometown team finally gets an AHL team. It's the same thing with the Suns. I mean, I became a Suns fan back in 18, 19, and if Kansas City somehow got an NBA team, you bet your butt I'm dumping the Suns and becoming a KC diehard.
That's probably a good
because
dump.
That's just the way it happens. Hey, you know what? we'll get to the NBA talk a little bit. We'll talk about the finals, and then I do have a little rant for off-season stuff coming up that will be pretty crazy.
Crazy.
But yeah, I feel like it's very valid to dump that team. Not to dump them. Like, you could still say you like the Canes. Like, but like it's not like going to be your team
it's
anymore.
It's like breaking up with
totally
like
fine.
it's like breaking up with like a 6-month girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like you just can't handle it enough. You got that
fun.
one flaw. Yeah, it was fun. It was a nice little click thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm not an NBA fan, so it'll be pretty easy for me. I'm not a fan of any NBA teams. But hockey one will be tough. It'll be really hard.
Great. Yeah, hockey's a lot of fun to watch. Again, I got the Kraken a little bit. I became a fan also in 21-22 when they actually became a franchise of the NHL.
We're a bunch of bandwagons.
So we're very new. We're very new to the hockey scene. We've only been fans for 3 or 4 years. We're kind of still getting I get to know some of this team, especially when my team's been really bad the last 2 or 3 years. It's very hard to stay connected to those teams right now. Trying my best, but hopefully they can go. But I know Sebastian Aho for the Canes is the guy.
Yeah, it's tough. I just wish the Canes had an offensive playmaker. I know Sebastian's good, but he's like a midfielder. He's almost like a setup guy. He's really good. He's probably the best setup guy ever, but it's really tough. Speaking of teams that we just started to root for, and we won't get into it until probably Nick Howard gets on, but your Champions League team made it to the finals, and man.
What do you want? What do you want them to do? They gave their best effort to beat Barcelona. Okay, they gave their best effort against them. They had to give everything to beat Barcelona, and then when they go against PSG and you got Mbappe and all these crazy. I mean, Inter's a great team.
PSG wasn't on Mbappe.
Oh no, that's right. It's not Mbappe. My bad. But PSG is doing unbelievable things out there. Shout out Benji. He was in our fraternity. He's a big PSG guy.
Big PSG from Paris, actually.
From Paris guy, which is pretty crazy. But it is what it is. I mean, it's another where it was just got to the final, and then I watched some of it, and then they went up 3 goals to none, and I was like, all right, I'm kind of done watching.
It was a very unenthusiastic.
For sure. Not a great showing for Inter, especially after they just beat Barcelona. You thought, maybe they would be able to pull something out. No, they played like crap. So it is what it is. That's what's tough about the final, too. It's like if you're in the semi, if you mess up one leg, then you can maybe get it back in the second. One game, one match. And if you show up and not play, like Inter did, that's what you get. So unfortunately that happened. But let's talk about the other thing that's kind of in the playoffs right now. I know K-Stel said he's not really much into NBA, but I've got us covered. Don't you worry. I'm kind of the
I watch it. I don't pay attention to the outside
the
details.
teams and stuff. Yeah. So let's talk quickly about the playoffs currently happening. We do have our NBA Finals matchup. We didn't know if we were going to have it, if we had a Game 6 or a Game 7. We didn't even get to a Game 6. Neither one of these different matchups in the conference finals. Out in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder did beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 4-1. The T-Wolves did get one game where they absolutely clobbered OKC, but didn't really look like OKC was really trying that hard in Game 3. But Game 4 and Game 5, they shut the door in Game 4. I felt like if the Minnesota wanted to get some type of momentum to get back into this, they needed to win Game 4. And when they lost 4, you could pretty much tell it was over. Actually, sorry, I said both. The conferences did not go to a Game 6. The Knicks and the Pacers did go to a Game 6. But the Thunder, great team, really, really young. Lots of draft capital still left in the tank. They've been holding all these draft picks and finally have these younger stars like our NBA MVP in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, all really good players. Lou Dort locking up defenders, your best offensive playmaker. Good luck getting through Lou Dort. You've got Caruso on that team, and you've got some other great bench talent for OKC. I wanted to get the opinion of K-Stel here a little bit on SGA's style of play. He likes to draw the foul, as they like to say. He likes to get the referees involved. I wanted to see from your perspective as a referee, just because you're our referee guy for the Dude Sports podcast, do you think the way SGA plays the game, where he is very much looking for contact and looking for the whistle, do you believe that is good for the game, or do you feel like that may show other kids down the road, like younger kids, that this is the way to play basketball? Is that a good thing for the game? And then also, if you are refereeing a guy like SGA, is your whistle going to be automatic? Yep, that's a foul, like every time he gets fouled, or are you going to be more lenient because of the way he plays the game?
It's a good question, and I can't really speak to like the highest extent because I'm not an NBA official. But what I will say, and you had a couple of points in those questions where I thought was interesting. The first thing we have to get out of the way is that NBA players are the best basketball players on the planet, and it's not even close. It's not even close. The gap between college basketball and NBA basketball is like massive.
It's massive. Yeah. If you put the Florida Gators against the Washington Wizards are beating the Florida Gators by 25 points.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 times they are beating them.
And it may get one lucky where you maybe win on a buzzer beater because Walter Clayton goes off, but that's beside the point. Yes, the NBA is way better than
and that's all professional sports, of course. But these players are so good defensively, and they're so good offensively. It just makes the game look odd. That's why the NBA has a tough time bringing that draw that college basketball brings, because mistakes in college basketball appeal to us a bit more. Like college football, those mistakes appeal to us a bit more. It's a bit more chaotic. And that's what we like. A lot of people like college baseball over MLB just because of the chaos. And the NBA is exactly like that. It's so good that those mistakes just don't happen. SGA is a fantastic offensive player, and he has learned how to draw fouls in the NBA. The NBA does not have a set of rules that say you can't be drawing fouls. There's no rule for that. If you're good enough to draw fouls, you're good enough to draw fouls. It's something that you cannot do. And to go to your question of, hey, what, like, are the kids going to start acting like this? Sure, they can act like that. But those kids are also playing in AAU tournaments. They're playing in the YBL circuits, all these different circuits in college. Any level that isn't in the NBA, they're not going to get those fouls. The reason why they're not going to get those fouls is because they're not in the NBA. So, sure, they can try to act like they can score, they can create those fouls. But in reality, if it was just that easy to do, and if that's the style of basketball nowadays, we'd be seeing everyone do it. The only people I see do it are probably James Harden. James Harden was really good at this.
Especially in his prime when he was on the Rockets. So he was very good at that style.
So James Harden was one of the best at drawing fouls, and SGA is just another version of that James Harden, except for probably not as good as a 3-point shooter, probably not even close.
Not quite yet. I mean, maybe eventually, right? But he's young.
Harden
is very
James
young
Harden
still.
is second overall in 3-pointers made of all time.
Right.
Which is crazy. So I don't think I'm worried about the game changing for the youth. I'm sure they're going to flop and stuff like that, but in reality...
Yeah, Shea's only 26 years old.
Yeah, the officiating, that's crazy. The officiating in those levels are just not going to give those fouls to those kids. They're just not. First of all, those kids aren't... Those refs won't get hired if they call stuff like that, because there's no kid that's able to do it like that. And secondly, the kids aren't good enough. They're just simply not good enough. You have to have MVP level talent to win this, to pull something off like that. So that's what I'll say. I don't think it's going to ruin the game. I don't think it's bad for the game. I personally don't like it. I don't know who does like it, and that's okay.
It's tough basketball.
But at the end of the day,
it really is. How can you hate it?
At the end of the day, the Thunder are going to a finals game, a finals series. So I mean, who are we to say?
Making their first finals appearance since like Kevin Durant
I don't care,
was
dude.
a rookie.
Yeah,
it's been like 15 years.
Yeah, if I'm a fan of any team and my team starts doing something that isn't illegal, but looks goofy, and they make it. Dude, we're Chiefs fans. We've seen Patrick Mahomes flop and flop and flop. And
here's
flop
a great
all the
example,
time.
right? Is the tush push for Philadelphia?
Yeah, the tush
right?
push.
Like,
it doesn't look.
How
good.
can you be mad about that? It's sorry that it works for them, and you're mad. Now, there's things with the tush push that we can go on and on. That's just an example. But yeah, I mean,
That's
I totally
a great
agree
example.
with the SGA. The SGA thing, like, you can't get mad at it. If it's my team, if SGA is on the Phoenix Suns right now and he's doing that, get 30 fouls a game. I don't care as long as the ball's going in the hoop. Like, who cares how you get it? Like, if you're complaining about it, right? Then find a way to stop him without fouling.
Yeah.
Like, if he is trying to put the offensive in his arm and he's really trying to make you hook, well, have him push off. Like,
just play good defense.
Let him push off, and then he gets the offensive foul.
Play
you
better,
can't hook.
play better defense.
You got to be able to move your feet a little more, obviously, because he's a great NBA player. He can score from wherever. He doesn't need to foul, right? He doesn't need that. But that is totally a part of his style that you can't be mad about, 100%.
Now, listen. Now, the social media is going to go out there and nitpick a couple of fouls that the NBA has called against him that don't look like fouls. And at the end of the day, dude, being an NBA official is hard. It's not easy. It's not like these guys just go out there and they're just thrown out just like scrubs. No, these are the best officials in the league. And also you have to remember the NBA is a player-driven league. It's not a coach-driven league. Coaches get fired all the time. They get fired a year after becoming coach
a year after being really good.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter about what the coaches think. It doesn't matter about any of that. It only matters about what the players think. LeBron James has LeBron James ever been thrown out of a game ever? Has he ever been thrown out of a game?
I don't know the actual statistic, but I don't think so.
I don't think that's ever happened. And the reason why is because LeBron James is one of the best basketball players to ever walk this earth.
He's been ejected from 2 NBA games in his career. One was in 2017, and then one was when he had that physical incident with Isaiah Stewart and the Detroit Pistons thing, where Isaiah went nuts on him. That was the only two.
Oh, that
one
yeah.
in 2017. I don't remember.
And those were really weird. And now listen, it's hard to not get ejected in the NBA.
Well, for how long he's played the game.
He's been playing forever. If he never got ejected, that'd be crazy. But 2 is still bananas.
It's out of all the NBA games he's played, like, only getting ejected twice.
Yeah, so
he's definitely done some things, like talking to the refs, backing the refs, bad-mouthing the refs, to deserve ejection, but he's not going to.
Realistically, if Draymond Green played if Draymond Green was doing that stuff in college basketball, he wouldn't play another game for the NCAA ever again. Not a single game would he play for the NCAA. That would not happen. So yeah, it's a players-driven league, and yeah, there's gonna be a couple fouls called that are a bit silly, but everyone makes silly calls. The best officials make silly calls, and they're gonna nitpick that on social media all the time. And that's just kind of what it is. If you watch the game, Shea's the MVP for a reason. He's the MVP
really
for a
good.
reason.
Yeah, and that team has been like one of the statistically best teams that we've ever seen. Like their margin of win in the regular season was 15.5 points on average. Like this is one of the best overall teams that we've seen, and Shea is the front run leader of that team that brought OKC, who hasn't been in an NBA Finals since the 2000s, right when KD was there. And bringing this dead franchise that was dead for probably a good solid 7-8 years where they really didn't have anything going for them, and brought them back to be now another great powerhouse. And we're seeing the time finally shift from these older stars, right? Now we're getting more of our younger guys in here to be the focal point of the NBA, and Shea is definitely going to be one of those guys. So OKC is on one of our side of the bracket of this final. The other side was one that we honestly didn't think was going to happen. The Pacers end up beating the Knicks in 6 in Indianapolis. The Pacers last year made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to Boston, and everybody thought that was a fluke. And then Halliburton again decides to show up and demonstrate why he is also a superstar of the NBA. That he was not looked at as a superstar for the NBA until probably he made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and made it now to the NBA Finals. You are a bona fide NBA superstar if you are the lead player on your team that is going to the finals. Okay, even if you want to argue Pascal Siakam, okay, is the better player, that was kind of funny. Halliburton thought he was winning MVP, started to walk up there, and then they actually gave it to Pascal Siakam. Siakam actually won the Eastern Conference Final MVP Larry Bird trophy only by 1 vote. So both those guys were huge impacts. Pascal had great games in Game 4 and in Game 6. He had some rocky ones there in 1 and 3. But it's kind of the opposite for Halliburton. Halliburton had a really good Game 1, really good Game 3, and they kind of struggled those rests. But he didn't struggle. He still scored like 16, 17 points. But you had those two bona fide stars, right? And then you had Andrew Nembhard around him. And then how about Neesmith coming out of nowhere and being that third guy.
It's in the name.
Third guy to come off as be that absolute guy that can score the ball for the Pacers. And then you also got Miles Turner on the boards, who has been playing really, really good. Obi Toppin coming off the bench has been great. So the Pacers don't look like they have a lot of depth, but they kind of do. I mean, obviously, to make it this far, you have to have other players show up other than your 2 stars. But the Pacers end up winning Game 6 at home pretty convincingly. There was no come-from-behind win like it was through Games 1 through 4. Game 5 was all New York, and then Game 6 was all Indiana. So, yeah, it's just really good game. Pascal Siakam's a guy I kind of like to talk about a little bit, where he's one of the most underrated NBA superstars that we have in our game right now. He is an NBA champion, and I know he had Kawhi Leonard, right? But that Toronto's Raptors team wouldn't have won the NBA championship without Pascal. They wouldn't have won. Kawhi obviously was the forefront best player on that team, but Pascal was the number 2 guy. And if Kawhi was not playing well, it was go through Pascal. And, we don't get enough talk about the Indiana Pacers because it's Indianapolis. It's not really a team they've spent zero money in the luxury tax. They haven't spent any money on anybody. They've sold. This offseason, you'll see Halliburton get extended. You'll see Pascal get extended. You'll see Neesmith get extended. You'll see Nembhard get extended. You'll see all these guys coming back, and they're finally going to spend some of this money that they've been accumulating for the past 4 or 5 years to keep this window that's honestly, I feel like, just started last year, and this year is a big window. I'm thinking both these teams have a lot to prove. It feels like to me, not last year, not 2024, but the 2023-2024 season, Boston Celtics, when they almost won the championship but lost in the finals against I think it was the Denver, I'm pretty sure it's the Denver Nuggets. Mm-hmm. But they lost there, and it was like, okay, you see this team, and you see how good they're going to be. They just needed another year to figure things out. And you got both these teams from both these sides that are on a collision course where it felt like they need maybe one more year to be elite, but somebody's going to win the NBA championship this year. It's going to be either the OKC Thunder or it's going to be the Indiana Pacers. K-Stel, I was going to ask the rest of the dudes, but since you're the only one on here, you got to give me your prediction between the OKC Thunder and the Indianapolis Pacers, or the Indy Pacers. Who wins and in how many games?
Ooh, it's tough. I was going to say the Indiana Pacers are the Detroit Tigers of the NBA. They don't buy a ton. They sell a lot. It's a classic Midwestern team. And, yes, Pascal Siakam is a fantastic glue guy. He's basically Chris Middleton, but way better. That's kind of what he is.
Yeah, no, he really is.
That's
that
kind
Bucks
of
team when they won, they beat the Suns that year. Chris was that glue guy, and that's 100. That's
and
a great.
Pascal
that's a great
Siakam, but Pascal just has
for sure
a larger bag on him, as what the kids say nowadays. And the thing that the Indiana Pacers bring to the NBA is that and I said it before, is that college basketball style of basketball. Where it's just fly around defense, throw it up the court real fast. It's very
their pace is so crazy.
I mean, it's the NBA it's the Indiana Pacers. So I mean, what are we talking about here? But yeah, it's really exciting to watch them. It was exciting to watch them beat the Knicks. The Knicks were a just classic 2020s NBA team. all offense, no defense, just big guys and rebounds and stuff like that. And the Pacers beat them with their style. The only issue is they're running into probably one of the most insane buzzsaws I've seen in the NBA. You could probably put them up there against the Celtics of last year, but the Celtics were really good at shooting three-pointers and just playing just really good lockdown defense on the perimeters. It was a very easy style of defense or style of game that was kind of odd. It made the Celtics look like a buzzsaw, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Did the Boston Celtics look anything different this year than they did last season?
They didn't look. I mean, obviously Tatum got hurt, which was the end of that. But it felt like, I don't know if it felt like they took a step back. I don't think they took a step back. I just felt like everybody kind of thought Boston, and they kind of got ahead of themselves against the Knicks, who have Jalen, who have some Mikal Bridges, who have Josh Hart, that were able to, and the Knicks just want to beat Boston, right? That's like, they want to win an NBA championship. It was the first time they made the Eastern Conference Finals since like the 1980s. Like, it was a huge deal for them to beat Boston and go to the Eastern Conference Final. I don't think it was that big of a step down. It did look like a little bit. Their shooting percentages did go down just a little bit, but I mean, obviously, when JT got hurt, it was over for Boston, and Boston's a whole different story now, especially since JT's going to be gone. He's going to be out all offseason, and a whole another year. They're going to lose Porzingis. Jaylen Brown might be on the chopping block. They're going to blow. That window was so short, and it was really unfortunate to see Tatum get hurt. That's like one of the worst things you see in all of sports is a great player going down. Even if it's a team that you hate, you never want to see a guy go down like that. But that's I feel like they were down just a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, what I was trying to explain is that their style of play didn't look different. It was exactly the same. It was shoot a lot of threes, play good perimeter defense, rebound the ball. Very similar. And it's kind of what I believe made the NBA unwatchable. It's just because it was boring. No one wants to watch a ton of threes. The Knicks came in, and they just played spread offense, which they shot threes, they cut the basket, stuff like that. But then the Pacers came along and they were like, we're just going to play NCAA basketball. But when I talk about better buzzsaws, because last year the Celtics were clearly the buzzsaw. No one was beating the Celtics. Celtics were like the Dodgers of like this year. Like, okay, if the Dodgers don't win the World Series, what's going to happen? Who's winning? Nobody. They're too good. This year's Oklahoma City team, I think, is way better than that Celtics team. And the reason why is because they're just better at everything else. They're better at every part of that defense. There's no gaps. There's no gaps in any of their style of play. They do everything well. They shoot free throws well. They shoot the three well. Their field goal percentage is fantastic. Their defense is good at every level. And the Pacers are running into one of the biggest buzzsaws the NBA's probably ever seen in recent history. Meaning like the past 5 years, technically. And I don't know if the Pacers can do it. I'm sure that they'll put up a couple good fights. I'm sure they'll get 2. If they get 3, that would be crazy. I think this game ends in 5. I think the Pacers get 1 win. My gut tells me they get 2. I'll go with my gut. I think the Pacers get 2 wins. I think they get the second game, and I think they get the 4th game. I think we're going to go 1-1-1-1. We're going to be even. Well, yeah. We're going to be even. We're going to get to game 5. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to pull away. And then we're going to be, at Indiana?
At Indiana in game 6.
It's hard to play in Indiana, but the Knicks also whooped the crap. What, did the Knicks beat them in Indiana?
They did. Yeah, they beat them once.
Yeah, once.
They beat them once. They beat them in game.
It's good.
4. I think they came game 4 and
Yeah.
No, they won Game 3 and then they won Game 5.
I
it was
think
3-1 and then they won one in New York at Game 5.
I think if it goes to 7, I think the Pacers win. I think if it goes to 5 or 6, I think it's going to be Oklahoma City. That's me. I'll do what I did last time. If it's 7 games, it's it's Pacers. If it's 6 or if it's 5, then if it's 6 or it's 5, I think the Pacers are winning it. Or the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm so sorry. I was so distracted by what was going on.
The stupid. Yeah, sorry. You're just hearing the background about the cats upstairs.
Is
We
it the
got
cats?
back from a vacation, and they are overexcited that we're back. So you can hear them running on the background. That's what you hear from the background of that. Yeah. So I agree with you. The OKC Thunder stuff. Here is my thing with OKC, where I'm gonna take OKC in 5. Okay, and the reason I'm taking OKC in 5 is if you watch the Western Conference Final games,
I'm
right?
still listening.
The Minnesota Timberwolves had Anthony Edwards, who was destroying people. Like, he was the guy, right? And what happened when they had him, right? They had him as the true purified scorer, and then they had Julius Randle kind of helping out, and they kind of had DiVincenzo helping out a little bit, and Gobert's good, right? But the only real threat was Anthony Edwards. And if you watch OKC play, OKC shut Anthony Edwards down. They just brought 2 or 3 guys to Anthony every time he got the ball. And so he couldn't make any plays. He kind of took him out of the equation, and they had to rely on Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert to be able to score the basketball and beat OKC, which was not going to happen. Okay, I feel like that's going to happen in this Pacers-Thunder matchup. I think the Thunder are going to double-team Hallie, and I think Pascal is better than Julius Randle, which is why I think that maybe it goes 2. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. Or it goes Game 6, where the Pacers win 2. But I just don't see it. I see the Oklahoma City Thunder figuring out a way to slow the game down a little bit. And they have so much rotational depth, like where you saw the Knicks get really struggle, right? Was Jalen Brunson was tired. Josh Hart was tired. Mikal Bridges, exhausted. Because Thibodeau plays them 38 out of the 40 minutes of the game. Or 30 to 42 out of how many minutes are in the NBA? I don't even, it's 15-minute quarters, so it'd be 45 minutes. Oh, great. We get to see this clown today. No, we're not doing that. Anyways, but I got the OKC Thunder. I got the OKC Thunder able to shut down Hallie just a little bit. Pascal's going to do what Pascal does, but OKC has too many options. They have Chet Holmgren. They got Jalen Williams. They've got Caruso, who can be a bucket. They've got a bunch of guys, and I just don't rely on the Pacers and their other players to be able to outplay the rest of the players of the OKC Thunder. Obviously, the main man from way out west has graced us with his awesome presence. Main man from way out west, a.k.a. P4, a.k.a. Island Boy, the real one. How are we doing? We might as well get that intro out of the way.
Yeah, we're doing good. Thank you for having me, as always. Sorry I'm a little late. We went to the Tacoma Rainiers today. We saw the Salt Lake City Bees, the AAA affiliate of the Los Angeles Angels. What? I think the not the Travelers. Who's the AAA ball squad for? The Cyclones, Storm Chasers. Is he on the Royals now? Are you sure? No, he is not. Wow. I need to see it.
We'll let main man from way out west get his bearings.
Well, dang, that is exciting for Kyle. Congratulations. I have not seen the official post, so I will not comment on that. Allegation. Yeah, well, please, yeah. You're what? Oh my gosh, whatever.
Sorry, Jack Caglione's up. Sorry, Jack Caglione's up.
UFC. Oh my goodness. UFC, interesting. We didn't talk about Macy Barber yet, have we?
We were waiting for you to get currently on. We haven't talked any NFL. We've just been talking NBA. We're going to move to college here, basketball in just a second, then we'll get to NFL and MLB and UFC. We haven't talked anything yet, so.
Just fantastic, And, yeah, so interesting stuff with UFC. But excited to thank you guys, and I'm going to do some research, and PC can keep on talking about why Halliburton thought he won the Eastern Conference MVP.
That clip was awesome of him, like, no. But yeah, anyways, we had OKC. So K-Stel's got OKC, I got OKC for the NBA playoffs, or for the finals here, to be exact. Off-season, we'll get to off-season talk later. Of course, I'm obviously a big Suns guy. There's going to be a lot of roster changes over there in Phoenix. Hopefully we get some draft picks back because we're about to be in the tank business for the next 5 years because the window's closed, shut, gated off, it's over. The experiment didn't work. Go figure. But I don't want to get too much into the Suns. We're not trying to bring that depressive vibe around here because we are going to talk a little bit of off-season basketball here. We have been kind of waiting for the return of CBB Corner 3. It is officially back today. We're going to go quick little overview stuff of the next year. I'm going to give my first top 5 of the season. And then next week, in the following weeks, we'll go break down conference by conference. Power 5 conference, obviously. And then we'll pick some sleepers that we like and stuff as the season progresses towards... As the season progresses, we get closer to the actual opening of the season. It's not for a long time, but, I'm a big college basketball guy, so we're going to get this rolling just a little bit here. Before we go into our specific teams, okay, as P4 definitely shows us, what a great
Not Michael Massey.
Royal.
Not Michael Massey. Not Michael Massey. No, Michael Massey. No.
These guys in their baseball.
That's also crazy. Hey, what's Venadol doing in the chat? Sending a bunch of, critters and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a goober. Shout out Venadol.
Snakes and worms and birds.
That guy's one of our number one
stuff
fans.
Like that.
Can't be messing with him.
A bunch of leaves.
All right, quickly for college basketball stuff. I just want to talk quickly about the top transfers. The transfer portal is officially closed. If you were opting out of the NBA draft, you had to already tell the team that you are coming back. So that window is now closed as well. So our teams are kind of set. There aren't really that many transfers left out there. It's all kind of set, and we kind of know who's playing for what team. As I said again, we will get into KU and Duke here at the very end of this. But looking at our top transfers, these are my top transfers that I think will have the biggest impacts on their current teams. Biggest one for me is a guy named Ian Jackson. He played at North Carolina last year. North Carolina, not a great team. Was supposed to be really good. But Ian Jackson looked like the best player on this North Carolina team. He is going to transfer over to the Hall of Fame coach in Rick Pitino in St. John's. That's a huge get for St. John's. They also got a guy named Bryce Hopkins. Watch out for St. John's next year. Excuse me.
So intrigued by them. He's coughing.
Rick Pitino and the St. John's team will be really good. You'll see where I have them in my rankings. They are in my top 5 going into next season. But that is a team. Watch it for Ian Jackson as well. Another big one, go look at the Big 12. BYU has AJ Debanza, who is a freshman, right? But they got a great transfer in Robert Wright from Baylor.
Yeah,
Robert Wright was a dog. Go look at some highlights of him from last year at Baylor. He was their best player other than VJ Edgecombe, who will be a top 5 draft pick, maybe the 6th guy in that NBA draft. But Robert was really good. Huge get from BYU. They now have AJ and Robert playing together. You've got that dual combo of the slashing forward and the guard being able to set each other up. That'll be a great combo to watch at BYU next year. A big one, another Big 12 team that actually got a really big upgrade that nobody saw coming was Memphis guard PJ Haggerty, who was an All-American, who was the best player on Memphis, actually is transferring to Kansas's rival in P4's hometown in the K-State Wildcats. Gave him a bag for it. Okay, not as big of a bag as Memphis was. There was a whole thing with Memphis. Memphis was offering him $2 million. He thought he'd go get more somewhere else. Memphis is like, okay, we're taking the money off the table, and he settled for only like 1.45 million, which is still a lot of money, right? But huge get for K-State. My next one is a team that is loved by the Dudes in Sports podcast. The Iowa Hawkeyes get Ben McCollum, and they also get All-American Bennett Sturts, who we hope will be a force in the Big Ten, with obviously the Dudes in Sports' favorite college basketball player in Isaiah Howard, also transferring to Iowa following Ben McCollum. We're hoping to get, I've actually been in contact with Isaiah. We are going to try and get him on the pod before the season starts, just to get a kind of recap of the transfer portal and how things are looking for Iowa, since we are the #1 Isaiah Howard news post podcast, probably on the internet. So, we kind of own that monopoly, and we're going to try to keep that monopoly. Hopefully we can get Zay on here, hopefully in a few weeks. And with maybe a little bit of contact, maybe we can get some more Iowa players. Hopefully we can get that All-American maybe to come on here and get an interview. That would be phenomenal. We're big Iowa fans. But Bennett Sturts, great.
Still waiting for
Iowa.
Jack Caglione to accept the offer for the Dudes in Sports podcast. Anthony Pasquantino. Apparently
Dudes Sports been trying to reach out. We've been trying to reach out. It's just like
apparently
gets lost in their DMs or something like that. I don't know.
Apparently they're kind of a bit nervous,
preoccupied.
Nervous. They're a bit nervous to.
Yeah, it would be pretty. Yeah, that's. I mean, we're a pretty big podcast.
Yeah,
I think we're up to about
I mean,
14 viewers
Kay Adams. I mean, the MLB Network, Jeff Passan, guys like that. Pretty easy for them. They come on this show. It's a bit tough. It's intimidating.
We have some tough questions sometimes.
Listen,
we had to ask,
Isaiah Howard is the greatest athlete on the planet right now, just because of this.
He's the only guy to ever be interviewed by the Dudes in Sports podcast. I mean, you are the first person interviewed by this legendary podcast. But Iowa's great. They'll be really good. Boogie Flan, who played at Arkansas last year, is going to become Walter Clayton Jr. 2.0 for the Florida Gators. They're going to be really good this year. And then Darion Williams, who was at Texas Tech playing with JT Toppin, who is also one of my players. I've been talking about the players going back. He's huge. He's going to transfer to NC State and go play a little bit of buckyball out there in NC State. So NC State's got a little bit of a squad there as well. Those are my top transfers to look for. Your players coming back that really mattered. JT Toppin already been mentioned. Already knew he was coming back to Texas Tech, getting paid $3 million, something like that, to come back to Texas Tech. He will be a force in the Big 12, obviously. LeBaron Fillon for Alabama is also coming back. He's going to be that lead guard for the Alabama Crimson Tide, who weren't really ranked in Gary Parrish, shout out CBS Sports, and them. He has the top 25 and 1 almost every single day. He had them low, and then once Fallone came back, he had them up in the top 10 now. So great get back for Alabama and Nate Oates. Tahad Pettiford, who we also kind of thought maybe be a bona fide NBA draft pick this year, couldn't get the certainties that he really wanted, right? So why not go back to Auburn and make a solid $2.5 million instead of maybe a $600,000 contract at playing in an NBA that's not maybe guaranteed for a long-term contract. So and then the last one I'm going to mention is Milos Uzan for the Houston Cougars. He's huge for that team. They did end up losing Pop Isaacs, who ended up transferring. And that's just because he felt like he needed to be the #1 guy. It does hurt Houston a little bit, but not terribly. Getting Milos back to be their #1 guy, their #1 person for Kelvin Sampson's team is really big. The only one that I wanted that I was really confused about, and I don't really know, right? Obviously, it's not, it's if that's they want to do, it's right, it's their life, they do whatever they want. But R.J. Lewis, the St. John's Big East Player of the Year, who got benched in his final game for the last 10 minutes when they lost to Arkansas, did not pull out of the draft. He is currently going to be in the NBA draft, which is really puzzling because if you go look at big boards, he's not even supposed to get drafted. They don't even know if he's going to get a contract. And this is, I'm hearing this a little bit, and it's like, What would you like? And I understand, right? You don't know his situation. You don't know what he's going through. Maybe he doesn't want to be a college basketball player. He doesn't want to go to college, to go to school, classes, all that crap. But there are two options on the table now because you're basically a professional athlete in college now, right? You can go A, right? Stay in the NBA draft, maybe be a second round pick, which is looking like right now, like from last year, people picked between 40s and 50s are kind of getting about a $600,000 contract, which is still good, right? But you may end up being maybe a two-way guy from the G League sitting on an NBA bench or playing in front of 20 fans in a G League game, right? Not that great. Or option B, right? And I'm a little salty because I did hear RJ Lewis, if he was going to maybe come back, Kansas was one of those really big programs trying to go after him, and I would have loved to have him on our team. But he could have made upwards of $3 million. That's what JT Toppin, that's what Ian Jackson, that's what Robert Wright, all these guys that are our top transfers got paid was about $3 million. And you get to go play in a stadium that is jammed packed. Allen Fieldhouse, we can argue if it's the best in the nation, right? P4 obviously has a different opinion, whatever, right? At least top 3 venues in college basketball, right? Being sold out every single, right? Just being in an atmosphere
college,
like that. Even if it wasn't Kansas. Even if it wasn't Kansas.
Yeah, but college basketball
let's
atmosphere is
just
the
say,
best regardless.
We can just say, even if he didn't go to Kansas, just take Kansas out of the equation, right? Going somewhere else, he's going to make $3 million, right? And be the star of the team. It's just kind of puzzling for a guy that's not looking like he's going to get drafted to not take the opportunity that's in front of him. You know, you don't know what's going on. I'm not, it's his choice. You can't blame the kid. If he just wants to go be an NBA pro, doesn't want to do college anymore, and is okay with taking that cut, fine. But you're leaving money on the table.
What's he taking?
He's taking a pay cut.
Oh, okay. You said cut.
He's taking a pay cut. He's taking a pay cut from a $3 million that he would be getting from transferring somewhere to $600,000 and maybe playing in a G League, as K-Stel thinks he's the funniest guy in the world and has a gay flag above him.
I do.
But we'll
Speaking
get
of
off that topic.
No, don't do.
But
shut up.
RJ Lewis. You know what? Whatever. Out of the college basketball, we don't have to worry about him. That's kind of what. That was the one guy last week.
I'll let him have the month off.
God. Oh man. Anyways, that's why last week I was kind of waiting for our college basketball stuff because I really wanted to see if RJ was going to end up in a Kansas uniform or somewhere else because he would have brought a team that was maybe sitting in your top 25 between 20 and 10 to maybe even coming up into the top 10, maybe the top 5 just for bringing him on. So, interesting stuff there. I will give you my very first top 5, and I want to see what the reactions are from K-Stel because he kind of knows this. P4 is not going to know anything about it. Because go figure. We'll talk about the Duke Blue Devils in just a second so P4 can give his thoughts. But here is my very first top 5, okay? I'm going to start from 5 and I'm going to go up to 1. So I have number 5. I have the Purdue Boilermakers. They're bringing everybody back. They got Braden Smith back. They've got Trace Jackson Wren back. They've got Fletcher Lawyer back. They got all those guys where Zach Edey, remember their first year where they made it in the second year when they had Edey and made it to the championship? These guys are going to be seniors now. They are veteran guards. You see those veteran guards get better every single year. This could be the year that they really get over the hump. Purdue has a lot of great bigs. They play that college basketball style really, really well. They go from the inside out. Braden Smith is obviously going to be their best player, but you're going to see Trace Jackson Wren be really, really good there as well. So I've got the Purdue Boilermakers at 5. At number 4, I've got an SEC team. I do have the Florida Gators and Boogie Flan. They did get Hauk back. They got Condon back. They got Ruben Chilou. I always mess up his name, but he's a really great rebounder. They brought back a ton of guys, and they brought in a key transfer in Boogie Flan to take Walter Clayton Jr.'s main guard spot. He will be the guy there for them. I have them at number 4. At number 3, this may be Big 12 bias, but this is why I got him there. I've got BYU at number 3 with Robert Wright and AJ, and also bringing back everybody except for Igor Danin, who was their best player, but he's a bona fide first-round NBA draft pick, so you don't blame the kid. But BYU is going to be really, really good. They had all that Mormon money to throw at these transfers, and they all came in and they all came back. They're all like, we don't care where we play at, as long as money's green, we'll go play there. So BYU at number 3. At number 2, I do have a Hall of Fame coach. I have Rick Pitino and St. John's. No, I do not have John Shire in the top 5. Sorry. He's not quite there yet. I'm not saying he couldn't eventually get there. But St. John's, I got at number 2. They're bringing Ian Jackson in and bringing back Zubi Ejiofor, who was their big man last year, who will be the biggest factor for them, along with Ian Jackson, excuse me. They also are bringing in Bryce Hopkins, guy from Providence, who was really, really good. Kind of struggled last year at Providence, but kind of lost his coach and had to deal with a new system, so he could be really good as well. I think St. John's wins the Big East again. The only other team I really think he can compete is UConn, bringing back Alex Caravan, who actually I have at 6. But I have St. John's number 2 and the number 1 overall team, and it may be Big 12 bias, but I do have the Houston Cougars at number 1, bringing back Emmanuel Sharp, bringing back Milos Uzan, bringing back Tugler, getting some great transfers in the portal, and Kelvin Sampson. You can't doubt the guy anymore. Houston's had one of the best programs in the past 4 or 5 years. It doesn't matter what league they played in. They came in the Big 12 and won back-to-back Big 12 championships. Made the NCAA finals last year, National Championship finals. They're going to be that good again, and all Kelvin Sampson continues to do is just add more weapons to build around his core 3 of Emmanuel Sharp, Milos Uzan, and then Tugler, the great defender, who could be the greatest defender in the nation next year. We are going to go into the Duke Blue Devils, and we are going to go into Kansas. I'm going to tell you who I currently have both of these teams. I do have Kansas at the number 15 right now. I think there are great pieces there. Obviously the number 1 freshman coming into the Jayhawks and Darren Peterson. You got Jaden Dawson, who's a transfer, who should be really good. But then again, that's kind of the thing with Kansas. Are we going to get this guy that's going to be able to help out these really good players? No, not usually. Usually they end up not being able to shoot the 3-ball. As we finally get our 4th member here for the Juice Sports Podcast, it's unbelievable. We love having everybody here. Then we got Trey White, another transfer for Illinois, who should be really good. Bryson Tiller, the incoming freshman as well, looks like going to be the starter there. And then Flory coming back is huge for Kansas as going to be the number 5 guy. I have them at 15. And then we will talk Duke Blue Devils. I do have in the number 8 spot the Boozer, Cameron Boozer is the better Boozer twin. He is going to be starting alongside Patrick Ngagba, who was really good last year for Duke. Didn't get as much playing time, but he will because Malawach is gone. They also are going to have one of the guys, their small forward in Dame Sarr, who Case Stout and I really wanted to be in a Kansas Jayhawk uniform, ends up loving Jabari Parker and following his footsteps and going to Duke University. Dame Sarr is going to be a guy you are going to want to watch. Great Italian player. At the 2 guard, you do have Isaiah Evans, who is going to be really, really good again, taking that step forward that they really need. And then you've got Caleb Foster at your point guard spot. I think he's going to be really good for them as well. That's your starting 5 for Duke Blue Devils. You've got a great freshman incoming class. You've got veteran leadership there. Huh?
Caden off the bench.
Yep, Caden off the bench. You also have Nicholas Kaminara. I can't say his name right. Nicholas Kam. So we're going to call him for now until the professionals who are really good at, pronouncing names can actually tell me how to pronounce his name. 5-star freshman, going to be good. Malik Brown, who really didn't have a big role last year because, again, all those freshmen, but he will have another significant role coming off the bench. Caden Boozer, the other twin of Cam, and then Darren Harris, the other shooting guard for Duke, will kind of round out those minutes for them. Maybe some other freshmen getting some minutes if they can really prove themselves. But Duke looks like another really great contender. You see they have that talent, and Shire is shown to be able to bring those 1 or 2 veterans along with some really great freshmen and be able to be that top tier of obviously the ACC and in the nation. P4, looking at this roster build just a little bit, how confident are you going into the 2025-2026 season?
I'm going to say something that may sound like a hot take, but let me explain myself. I am as confident as I was last year because the ACC isn't much better. I feel like we're going to be in the same scenario. Now, the high-end talent is maybe not where it was, but I feel like we're maybe a little more... No, it's hard to say we're a little more rounded out. I don't think Cam is maybe as good as Cooper as far as like the number one star comparison. But I'm confident. I mean, we could... I think last year's ceiling is a decent, realistic expectation. What we actually did last year. No, last year should have been better. But I think this year, if we have a very similar season to last year, then we're fine.
Then you would lose in the Final Four.
Yeah, but at least they didn't lose in the first round like we did. But you know what? It is what it is. But, yeah, great insight there, Duke. Obviously, we've got a lot of time left to kind of see where these rotations are going to go. And, you know, basketball doesn't start till November. I'm a big college basketball guy, so, of course, I'm going to explain the hype. K-Stel, I want to get your little bit of input on the Jayhawks. Kind of wrap up college basketball here, and then we'll get to some MLB and NFL where you guys really thrive. But I just want to get your quick thoughts on the Kansas Jayhawks and your expectations coming into the 2025-2026 season.
Thankfully, the Jayhawks are not going to be ranked number one preseason. We're done with that. I'm done with it. I don't think they'll be ranked top 15.
They are projected right now to be in between 15 and 20. That's the projection.
I think that's perfect. I think it's perfect. I think, now listen, I'm not going to sit here and go, you know what, losing on D-Will and losing on Sar is the best thing ever. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but, like, what do we know? We've, as KU fans, we have sat here in this same position. And if we don't get the guys that we want, we're not going to be well. And what happened? We got the guys that we wanted. And what happened? We were the worst KU teams we've ever seen. I think DP is way better than people give him credit for. I'm not saying that he's going to be better than Cooper Flagg. But I think he's going to be probably one of the best freshmen we've ever seen in recent history. And I know that sounds weird just coming off of a Cooper Flagg season, but Cooper Flagg's freshman season was arguably one of the greatest in like college basketball history. That's just from my perspective. But DP is one of the best scoring freshmen I've ever seen in my life as a pure scorer. And I think him and the guys that Bill Self has brought in, 3-and-D guys who play defense, guys who can shoot threes. Bill Self had one job, and this is what I said. I want you to bring in guys who are similar to KJ Adams. They can jump, they can play defense, but I want them to shoot threes. That was the only issue with KJ Adams. He was a great defensive player. He was unbelievably athletic. He could not shoot a three-pointer. In fact, he didn't attempt one the whole season. It was old school basketball. We're done. He brought in 2 3-and-D guys, the kid from Illinois and the kid from Loyola Chicago. Now, the kid from Loyola Chicago is a toss-up. Of course it is. Just because he's from
Jaden Dawson.
Yeah, Dawson.
He played
Good
really
defensive
well.
player. Good defensive
He's
player.
really good for a mid-major player. But at the end of the day, coming into a Power 5 or Power 4 conference, it's tough. It's going to be tough playing at Allen Fieldhouse. The kid from St. Bonaventure who just undeclared from the draft, that was weird. I didn't even know he declared for the draft, is a great defensive player. He's probably Marcus Garrett with a little less offensive threat on the three-point side, maybe Marcus Garrett in his senior year. We just have guys that are talented and are willing to work, and we don't have guys that are here wanting to earn a paycheck other than Flory and other than DP, and I think that's perfectly fine. I think these guys are here to just play good basketball. What Bill Self wants is gonna have us ranked high in the preseason. No, but I think it's something that we can build on. And I know that KU teams wanted that second scorer. Who's our second scorer? Who's our guy if DP gets shut down? Maybe El Marco. Maybe anybody. Anyone who wants to step up. I think right now the way college basketball is flowing is you have to have your primary scorer. Cooper Flagg was the primary scorer. He was the primary dude. He might not have been the highest scorer that night, but he was the best player on the floor and at all three levels that night. Every night he was the best player. And I think KU has the guys to fill that spot when needed. And also, let's just make something very clear. KU teams who are good defensively are KU teams who win the Big 12 championship. That's just always going to be the case. It's been that way forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And I think this is Bill Self's most talented defensive class he's ever had with the guys he's brought in. Are they going to be playmakers? Probably not. Jaden Dawson isn't really a playmaker. I saw him spot up for threes. I saw him cut to the basket. I saw him get alley-oops. I saw him play defense. That's perfect. We have 3 guys on the team right now that can do all of that stuff playmaking-wise. Go ahead, do it. The big man depth is going to be tough because right now we have, Bryson Tiller, freshman.
That's it, yeah, and Cauldron's a little bit, but not much.
Cauldron's 6'7", but he's a spot-up shooter.
It's the depth of and we got Clements coming back as well. Which
Do we?
Kind of, yeah, I think so.
No, he transferred.
No, I'm wrong.
Transferred.
I'm wrong on that.
So our big man depth is going to be tough. Now, we do have those 3-and-D guys. I think the kid from Illinois is 6'7", 6'8", so maybe fill that role. It's going to be tough, big man wise, but I think that there's ways that Bill Self can maneuver around it. I'm not saying that this KU team's going to go out and win a national title. I don't think that they have the veteranship that they have like they did in 2022. It's really tough to win a national championship. Let's just be completely honest. It's really hard. And last year we saw the best transfer class win. It's hard. That's almost impossible to do. To bring in guys that haven't played with each other and then just go, oh, we're winning the national title. I mean, that was kind of what we thought Kelvin Sampson was going to do. Bunch of veterans. This was the time. It was their time to do it. And they didn't do it. I think this KU team can absolutely win a Big 12 championship, though, for sure. And I think if KU does that, I think that's a good start. Good start to Bill Self's transfer era.
Absolutely is a little crazy.
What's that? Why?
Houston is mega stacked, but I do think that they do have a decent chance. As
you got Houston, you've got BYU, you've got Texas Tech.
Listen, Bill.
What are you talking about? It's the
Big 12 looks big.
It's going
but
to
I
be
think
the best league. Of
Houston just looks
Power
great. I mean,
Five.
how much they brung back is wild, and they got some decent acquisitions too. So.
Yeah, but the
I
last team to get
think-
the preseason number
I
one
do.
overall team was 2009.
I think-
so maybe the other fall flat. We thought Kansas was going to be the best team in the nation last year, except for P4 because he hates Kansas. But everybody else was like, this team's going to be a
That was a bunch of
team.
transfers.
What I'm trying to.
Dickinson wasn't a transfer. What are you talking about? KJ Adams? Those guys were not transfers.
Time out. 30 seconds, please. What I'm trying to get at is that. One of the reasons we said, KU this, they're going to be really good 2 years ago is because we looked at their transfer class. We looked at who they brought in. We looked at, the points, the stuff like that. Me and PC, we were both the same way. Oh, they're going to be good. And then what turned out is that it didn't work. And Bill Self had to do his thing. He had to bring in guys that he knows that he can coach and that he likes. Guys who can shoot threes, guys who can play defense. That's perfect. We didn't have a single 3-and-D guy last season. Name one 3-and-D guy KU had last season. Do we have any?
It was supposed to be people, but they ended up not falling. They ended up falling flat.
Exactly.
Dickinson.
No, don't you do it. What I'm trying to say is that I think that Bill Self is by far the best coach still in the Big 12. I know Kelvin Sampson's really good. But I think Bill Self, when he has his style of players around him, is the best coach in the conference. And I think if it works, and I think it will work better than it will last season, I think they can win the Big 12 tournament. Or not tournament. The conference championship throughout the season. I know Houston's going to be tough. I also know that BYU is going to be really difficult to beat, especially when you play them at BYU. But I think this Kansas team around Bill Self's theory of basketball will work. Last year, Bill Self tried to put his theory into a bunch of kids who did not fit into his theory. It was very easy to see. It just did not work. The kids were good. They probably would have been better going to other coaches playing under their system, but Bill Self's system is very simple. You need to play great defense first. After that, you have to be a really good shot selection offensive player and make your shots a lot. It's a very old school style, and I think that Bill Self has the crew to do it. And a Bill Self team that's really, really, really good on defense. Not just not fouling, because I know Bill Self's team last year was like, oh, they're really good on defense. No, they're really good on defense because they just don't foul. And I don't think that that's necessarily a stat that I look at and go, oh, they're good defensively. If you watch KU last season, they were not good defensively. Not at all. They couldn't close out on 3-point shots. It was disgusting.
Last year, it felt like it was an effort thing, but I understand what you're trying to do.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Bill Self went out and got a bunch of dudes who were dogs. They were dogs. And I think that fits better. And I think that not getting D-Will and I think not getting SAR may benefit us more than we think. That's just my opinion. It could be horrible. We probably would be sitting at times in the season going, man, if we had D-Will, what would this be? Because DP's getting locked up by some dude. And El Marco is disgustingly bad. But at the end of the day, good defensive Bill Self teams with the players he has, I think is going to play really, whatever. Good.
He likes to talk really weirdly. Okay, yeah, we talked a lot about the offseason college basketball. Far enough. Obviously, it's really early on. Next few weeks, I'll be going over my Power 5 rankings, kind of figuring stuff out for that. But that's down the road. We don't even worry about that now. Let's talk quickly. Now, it's not really quickly since it is the current thing going on. And probably the biggest thing for at least 3 out of the 4 Dudes Sports podcasts I try to keep along as best as I can. But stats and baseball just don't mix well with me. I'll try to be informative as well. But let's talk some MLB baseball. K-Stel, floor is yours.
It is mine. I'm going to start this off. So me and Nick Howard, we play each other on starting Tuesday. It happens. I want me and Nick to do a little game. I can't hear you, brother. Cannot hear you.
I'm here.
All right. So I'm going to guess your lineup for Tuesday's game. And then you're going to guess my lineup for Tuesday's game.
Oh,
all right?
Shit.
And
okay.
All right. So just let me know if I'm missing anybody.
Massey's hurt, correct?
No, he's not hurt. He played today.
Okay.
He played today. All right. So against, Lorenzen against for the Royals. I think Nootbaar 1. Lefty. Win at 2. Donovan 3. The first 3 guys. Contreras at 4. Herrera at 5, I think. Arenado 6. Who's your left fielder? Burleson. Let's say Burleson.
Right fielder.
Yeah, right fielder Burleson. Catcher Pages. And Pius, and then a Victor Scott 9. Is that fair? Did I miss anyone?
I think that's pretty solid.
All right.
That's pretty solid.
All right.
I'd say maybe Pozo.
Maybe for the catcher position.
don't get mixed.
Pozo,
But, yeah.
Pajes. Yeah, that's fair.
Pozo Bozo.
So we got
yeah.
Palante on Tuesday. Who are the Royals going to have in the lineup?
Plante Tuesday. Okay, so let's see. We got. Oh shit. Leading. I'm gonna be terrible with order, but I think I know at least who's like leading off in India.
Yeah, India.
Okay, and then batting second. Is Pasquantino a cleanup?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
okay. So he's
Not
cleanup.
for long.
Crazy. Is it Michael?
No, it's
Is batting
Bobby.
second?
Bobby's
Bobby.
back.
Okay. I thought Bobby was third. Okay, Bobby will be second. Then Michael third.
Yep.
Okay, and then we got Vinny, and then let's see.
Oh wait, no. Vinny is third. Sorry, Vinny is third.
Oh, okay. So Michael's fourth cleanup.
No, he's fifth. He's behind Salvi. Salvi's
Oh,
four. I'll give
okay.
you one. Salvi's four.
Interesting. I thought he was kind of
Yeah.
struggling, so I didn't know if he was going to be dropping down a little bit. Okay, so Salvi
They would
fourth,
rather
Vinny
him
fifth.
die on the field than dropping below 4th
Yep.
order.
Gotta get the Hall of Fame
Yep.
thing. You gotta get the Hall of Fame candidacy. So, okay, so 6. This is where we get a little tricky.
Yeah, it's gonna
Let's
get a
see.
little
We'll go
tricky.
infield, outfield. I don't know. Do we wait? Isbell's got to be bottom of the order. Right?
Isbell's 9. He's a 9-hole hitter. He's always been a
Okay.
9-hole hitter.
Is it Massey?
Sure, we'll say Massey.
Okay. And then let's see what 7th. It's not Renfro. Renfro's gone.
I'll just
We
yeah.
got-
Let's do water. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Because there's
Waters.
Okay, Waters. Okay, because there's a little bit of toss up. So Waters, 7th. Okay, and then 8th spot. Well, we got left field, so that
Yeah.
would be who's playing left field. That's not terrible.
Well, so-
compared to the rest, but-
So we have a guy up. We'll have.
outfield is a little.
Let's throw the outfield
No
out.
offense.
Let's get the outfield in here.
I'd like to hear it, and I like to hear your
After
opinion about
after
the outfield.
Michael, we have let's have Waters in left.
Okay.
Okay, and then in right field we'll have John Rave. He just got called up.
I would have
Yeah.
never guessed that.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Center field, Isbell, and then Nick Lofton's also up as well.
Okay.
So, but the
Interesting.
problem
Okay,
is
Lofton,
that
I know.
Nick
Lofton,
Lofton will probably be, so that'll be like 7, 8, 9 will probably be our outfielder. So we have a DH, and that would be Michael Massey, probably. But the
Michael
problem
Massey.
is Michael Massey won't be playing on Tuesday.
So is India's second, correct?
India's
In that
first.
case.
Second base, yes. Second
Oh,
base.
I was like, whoa.
But okay, so
Okay.
yes, but Michael Massey isn't playing on Tuesday. He's not. So what the lineup will be on Tuesday? Here's what the
That's
lineup
good for
will
the
be.
Royals.
It'll be India, Bobby.
Oh, you talk to him.
Yeah, India, Bobby,
Please.
Vinny, Salvi, Michael, and then Jack Caglione, Waters,
He's making his
Rave.
debut against us.
9. Yes, he is. He's coming up. He got called up.
He's totally hitting a bomb off us, dude. That's gonna fucking suck if that actually happens.
Nick, I didn't want to be the guy to let you know, but the Royals did not.
Yes, you did. No, that was a lie.
That's so
That was a
funny.
lie.
He's
You
like,
100%
every time
lied
you
every
told
time.
me at the beginning, and then you waited till Main Man from Way Out West was here to tell him, and
My-
then you made Howard go through an entire lineup just to tell him that Jack Caglione made it up. What are you talking about? I'm not even a baseball guy, and I know this.
I didn't want to.
What was so
Palante's
funny?
pitching, you said?
No, wait, just please
Palante's
wait.
pitching?
What was funny is the way that P4 figured out is he said, I watched the Salt Lake City Bees, and I was like, I know that team. I know the Salt Lake City Bees. And he was like, what's the team you guys have? The Twisters. And I was like, the Storm Chasers. Yeah, the team that Jack
We're
used to
live
play
right
on.
now. The people were here.
I'm telling Nick Howard, damn it.
Well,
Royals
hey,
promote Jack Caglione. Holy
other
shit,
people are
dude.
here.
Were you guys confused on?
God.
Were you guys confused on
This
why I was
podcast has been
sending?
going
This
almost
is
an hour and a half,
unbelievable.
and this is what we're telling about Jack.
All right.
15th time in
I'll
this
do it.
podcast.
Oh, listen, I'll do it.
Just-
I'll do it really
I've been
quick.
counting.
Unbelievable.
Really quick. Royals lost a series to the Detroit Tigers this week. Not shocking. The Royals can't score runs. Guess what they do? They bring up the guy who has the most RBIs in them.
We lost to the Rangers, if that makes sense.
Shut up. Anyways,
Fuck you mean shut up. The Rangers suck on offense, and they scored in 2 games of the 3 games in the series. 19 runs. They scored 8 today,
Perfect.
and the first
We're
game they
gonna
scored 11.
perfect. We're gonna score 20. The Yankees
Or get shut out.
Wait
That's
a
Cardinals
second.
baseball.
Wait a
I
second.
don't know.
Wait a second. The Yankees lost the series to the Dodgers.
Good thing Aaron Judge hit 2 fucking home runs, down 10 and fucking 14.
Yep. Career stat patter, Aaron Judge. Congratulations.
81 mile an hour hanging curve over the middle of plate, down 15-1. Most Mickey. So glad that happened in LA because that's the most Mickey.
That reminds me
Mouse
of
home
like
run.
a Pete Alonso moment, you know?
Shut
Some
the fuck
home
up.
run
Pete
derby
Alonso.
bit.
The
The
pitches.
Seattle Mariners are leading the AL West.
Are you talking
If you
about
guys
Lucas
don't
Duda with home run
know
champions right
who
now?
Cal Raleigh is. Cal Raleigh's a good baseball player. He's had 6 home runs in the
Best
past.
hitter in the AL.
Big dumper. Big dumper.
Big dumper. The dude is a machine. They're 32-26, which is weird. I don't know why all these teams aren't playing baseball games. Cleveland is also 32-26.
We still haven't played the fucking Cubs.
32-26 Cleveland Guardians. They're not a real baseball team. They will not be in the playoffs by the end of the season. I don't believe it.
Agreed.
They still have a crazy run differential. It doesn't make sense. Houston is there. They played good, but then they played bad. And then the Minnesota Twins are also 31-27. They're just kind of hanging out. Do you guys want to know who's the one that's sneaking up in the wild card race in the AL? It's the freaking Toronto Blue Jays at 31-28. Where did that come from? I don't know. They're 12-20 in their last game. That's nothing crazy. That's because the whole MLB's been weird. The Royals are 31-20
In the last 32?
in 20 games. They're 12-20. They're 12 and
12
20.
wins.
12 and
12
20.
wins.
Yeah, 12 and 20 in their last 20
Okay.
games.
I think I know what you're saying, but Their last-
Which
so
isn't.
in 20 games they've won 12, are you saying?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
yes. It's not their record is 12-20 in 32 games. They're 12 out of their last 20. So they're good, I guess. The Royals right now are still above 500, but it feels like we're 5 million games below 500 with the way our GM is running the business. We have how many call-ups have we had this season? 1, 2, 3, and now 4. 4 offensive call-ups this season. 1 DFA. We're going to have 3 options to the minors of Major League Baseball players. So that doesn't sound like we're in a good spot, but we're still above 500. I'd probably say that's the best position to be in, but at the end of the day, if Jack Caglione actually comes up and starts like doing something ridiculous, I'm going to be scared because that means something bad's going to happen in my personal life, and I don't want that to happen, and I'm getting way too close to my wedding. Okay? Tampa Bay is 30-29. They're hanging on by
I
a
hope
thread.
Aubrey just randomly came on this podcast just to say
That would be insane. The Texas Rangers are 29-31. They did just get 2 games from the Cardinals, who were playing well until they played the Texas Rangers. Texas still sucks on offense. I don't get that, but so does KC, so it doesn't matter. Boston is a mess. Don't even talk about Boston. They're a complete train wreck. LA Athletics lost 1 million games for some reason, like in a row. Baltimore is dead. They tried to get in a fight with the White Sox, who are also 18-41, which is disgusting. But we aren't even gonna. That's not even the worst team in the MLB. That was funny. The Baltimore and White Sox got in a fight. It was almost like a bunch of poop fighting in a toilet. The Mets are still the best team in baseball. Wait, no, they're not. The Detroit is. They're the best team in the National League. Juan Soto did well against the Colorado Rockies. Congratulations. So did Michael Massey. The Chicago Cubs are also
that's
37.
The same thing that the Phillies did. No, let's compare like with like. I mean, Jesus, you gotta play this on your schedule. Soto.
I hate to
got
say
hot a
it, but
little
our rivals are tied with the Mets.
Yeah,
in-
the Cubs are tied 37-22. PCA is going to probably get
The clown.
crucified by the pagan god, whoever that is. He made a deal with this
They're
season.
playing Washington next, and they're fucking world beaters.
Don't face nobody till June 6th. Put that on record. Fuck the Cubs.
The Dodgers are
We're playing
36.
the Dodgers next week. We'll see.
The Dodgers are 36 and 23. They're doing okay. The Phillies have decided to start playing baseball again. That's cool. The Padres are also doing well. The
They lost 4 in a
San
row.
Francisco,
I'm about to say Luzardo let up a shit ton of runs, which is crazy.
the San
were
Francisco
in
San
first
Francisco
place last
Giants are still just kind of measling their way along. They still have the best bullpen in the MLB. I don't know how that happened. The Cardinals are. That's weird. I'm seeing 4 wild card teams. The Cardinals are apparently below the San Francisco Giants. They're 33 and 26. They had a bad series to the Rangers. Milwaukee apparently started winning games, so they're good again. Cincinnati, their offense is heating up. Don't ask me why. They played the Royals, which is a shocker. But they're getting a lot of players back from injuries, so that's cool. Arizona, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. Corbin Burns just got asked to leave the game by the trainers. He hurt something in his arm. That's a $300 million pitcher you got right there. Hopefully nothing bad happens. I don't wish that much bad luck against. Talk about the yikes. The Yanks? Talk about the Yankees? If you're talking about the Yankees, Carson Boz. Do we know a Carson Boz?
Negative Ghost Rider.
Negative Ghost Rider. Carson Boz. Carson, I will talk about the Yankees coming up soon. Washington is 28 and 31. They have the same record as the Arizona Cardinals, by the way, if anyone is wondering. Atlanta is 27 and 31. They're garbage. And then Miami 23-34. Pittsburgh 22-38. And then don't even get me started with the 9 and 50 Rockies. 9 and 50. You heard that right, folks. 9 and 50. That is worse than the White Sox last season.
They have a pitcher on their team with
Nick Howard, do we know a Carson Boz? Talking about the yikes? Who are the yikes? Was talking about the longevity of the pod. Oh, talk about yikes. Good luck, guys. Who is this Carson Boz? Hey, dude, let me tell you something.
Shane
Carson.
Boz.
Carson, let me tell you about this. The longevity of the pod is based off of what I'm doing, all right? Just me. So just put the blame on me. But other than that, I don't have anything. I don't want to talk about the Royals. Jack's called up, so I don't want to talk about my offensive struggles because it's been the same thing for 5 weeks. P4?
Carson Coleman.
No, I don't know. This Carson Boz guy, I don't know who he is.
It's
But
on our
he's
YouTube chat.
giving us a lot of views, Carson Boz. We went up from like 12 to 27.
Oh, hell yeah. Hold on a second.
Uh,
Sorry, I thought you were talking about an MLB player. I was like, I know it's Shane Boz.
no. B-O-Z. P4, how about the Mets?
They're great. They're awesome.
Okay, that's fine.
How's Juan Soto?
He had 2 home runs.
Hit 2 today.
Getting better, getting better. I was
Or
about
he
to
hit
say.
2 in the last 2
You
days.
better be grateful, P4.
Hey, I mean, yeah.
You spoiled
Worth every
fuck.
penny.
What else are you supposed to do? I mean, every time
Is he
I
good?
talk about the
If he
Mets,
was on
all
your
I
team.
do is get berated about the Mets, and then I get called spoiled. This is not how that.
Because I have Jordan Walker on my fucking team. An unsavable player. You know how awful that is to have.
Sucks. I mean, my stuff isn't awesome. Didn't you guys take?
He's still a
shit on
Jets
me?
fan.
Yeah, I mean, come on, and I get bullshit about being a Blue Devils fan. But you know what? It's what you have to put up with. I mean, it's lonely at the top. We understand this. Yeah, the Mets look good. Pitching, we're getting Paul Blackburn back. We're gonna have a 6-man rotation coming up. I know. Jesus Christ, I can't even say a fucking sentence.
I wasn't
yes,
talking
we
about
should.
you.
I thought you were gonna go in on Paul Blackburn because I will admit that is a ridiculous. Oh, that's our 6th starter. Like what the fuck?
Shout out Steven Matz.
Yeah, Manaea's coming back soon. We'll see what the bullpen's gonna do. Cautiously optimistic. Trust in David Stearns. Go Mets. God, Soto looks good. Frankie is probably the best leadoff hitter in baseball. Let's have that conversation. Best leadoff hitter in baseball.
Newt.
Okay.
All right, looks like MLB
Yeah,
got
get it.
wrapped
It's
up
over.
there.
It's done.
Now
It's
we're
done.
just all
Done.
having a
K-Stell's
big
just
dick
done.
It's
con.
done.
Alright,
I was done.
let's
Jack got
go.
called up.
Kyle's gone
Let's go
without looking at
quickly.
his TikTok vine, so.
Throw it over to the main man for Way Out West to talk about the interesting UFC card we just had. And then we do have a finale to do tonight.
What's your definition of interesting?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the main card was interesting, I guess. That they didn't even fight.
The ending was definitely, unfortunately, crazy.
Yeah.
So let's see. What's the best way to do this? Jesus Christ. Ah. Alright. Whoops. Alright, we're working on technical difficulties. Give me a second, fellas.
That's some good boxing while P4 is pulling this up. Caleb Plant was a 2,500 favorite, and he lost to a dude from Nayarit, Mexico, state in Mexico that is really known for just fishermen and stuff. And he went and beat Caleb Plant, who fought Canelo Alvarez and David Benavidez. So shout out
Caleb Plant, big
my
favorite.
man Armando.
He's a huge favorite of all. That's minus 12.
Really big and lost. Crazy. Continue, P4.
All right, so UFC Apex. Did see an interesting thing. I don't remember if I told Nick Howard about this or not in the chat, but saw a thing. So obviously the UFC is coming up on like this whole ordeal where they don't have. They're looking at Netflix. The deal with ESPN may be up, and they may be looking at different things. And I saw this thing that in their contract, ESPN has a minimum amount of fights per year, and that like contract went up.
I brought that up, which is why they have a bunch of Apex cards. Continue.
Yeah, and like maybe that kind of effect. I mean, it definitely affects the level to which these cards are. So maybe in the Netflix now we won't get UFC every weekend, like we won't get 40 events a year, but the Contender Series will still go on, and we'll get these higher level fights. I mean, this card was a fucking joke. I mean, honestly, that was best case scenario. I mean, all prayers to Macy Barber and all that, and Aaron Blanchfield, and sorry for them.
Gamera.
Yeah, they don't get to make. Well, he fought, but I'm saying that the two that didn't fight, and like hopefully that they're doing good, and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, this card had no business being a card. It was ridiculous. All right, let's get into it. Ryando Santos fought Alice Adderline, who got the win, the Romanian unanimous decision. She was the betting underdog before the fight. Oki with the unanimous decision. He was a heavy favorite beforehand. Michael Aswell, United States. Jordan Levitt, welcome back to the cage. I think his last fight was against Patty. It might have been he might have had a fight after that, but it's been a while. I think it's been maybe a year and a half, 2 years since Jordan Levitt was last in the cage. He landed one strike. He got the takedown, and then he submitted the guy. So really incredible work by him. Congratulations to him. He was the heavy betting favorite. Kurt Hollabaugh, I think, was a relative newcomer. Yeah, 22 and 10. I don't think he has too many UFC fights. Yeah, Ogden. Jeez. So we'll see what happens with him. Alan Nascimento, he wins the unanimous decision. Not much other than Levitt in the early prelims to talk about. But Alan got the good, it was almost a pick 'em there, decision win over his Brazilian counterpart, Filio. Then we go on to the main event, or the main card, and this was also interesting. We had the middleweight bout, Zachary Reese versus Dusko Todorovic. And Todorovic, who's a big guy, he was the underdog. He couldn't quite pull it out, with Zachary Reese with the win. Caitlin Vieira, this was actually kind of a good fight. Macy Chiasson, she's kind of always hung around the women's featherweight division. But Caitlin Vieira with the decision win. As far as those kind of fights go, it was pretty good. Dustin Jacoby, he was there. He has a knockout that's like Kamaru Usman. That's something funny I saw. Bruno Lopez got knocked out in the first minute and a half. They were in there, they were throwing, but Lopez just did not look like he deserved to be in that cage. Billy Ray Goff, he got submitted pretty quick against Ramiz Brahimaj. Heavy favorite was Billy Ray Goff. Rhymes with the win though. First round submission. This was a pretty cool fight. Yeah, it was weird. They didn't really do any performance of the night bonuses or anything. Like,
Yeah, it's just a terrible
I mean, it didn't make any sense. It was kind of thrown
It was
together, and as
bad.
you're watching it, Matez Gamrot went the distance against this flying guy
Again.
who's not even ranked. I mean, it's
He didn't look bad in his highlights, but yeah, that fight was just odd.
He was supposed to, that was supposed to be a fight where he's supposed to really kind of establish himself, and he did win, but it wasn't like he won like.
He still has a legacy of
fashion.
like Faziev like tearing his ACL against him and him getting in the win. Like I don't know, Gamrot to me just hasn't done anything like.
He's definitely a gatekeeper type.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing like convincing, I should say,
Yeah.
about Gamrot's wins.
no.
For sure.
And then, yeah, I agree with every word you said there. I don't know where I put that thing. It's around here somewhere.
Let that be known, podcast crew.
Yeah, Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. That was canceled like short notice. So who
Yeah.
knows what happened with that? That's kind of crazy.
I think it was a medical issue. Was it with-
Aaron Blanch-
Allegedly, it was a seizure from what Hunter Campbell and Aaron Blanchfield has said. So for Macy Barber, unfortunately. But yeah, continue before.
And Aaron Blanchfield like was about to make the walk. I don't know, man. Next
Tough.
week we got a big fight.
Huge.
We don't necessarily have our picks quite yet. We're gonna see how the lines move, but there will be picks on the Dudes in Sports X page coming up this week. Starting off with the early prelims, this is UFC 316 Prudential Center, New Jersey. Early prelims start 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for the prelims, and 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern for the main card. Dwalishvili versus O'Malley 2. Starting off the card, we have Quillan Salakid, the Australian, versus Yanal Ashmuz, the Israeli fighter. Right here, we got a pretty decent. Where are we looking here? Looks like lightweight bout. We do have some odds here. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves and lock us into anything, but and there's also not full odds left on these cards yet. Like we were just saying, these UFC fights are thrown together. These guys have no fights professionally. It's just a fucking joke. But moving on up the card, I mean, there's not too much to talk about. This Jusang Yu guy's undefeated. He's supposed to be pretty good. I'm excited to see him fight. Ariane De Silva versus Wang Kong. Wang Kong's up-and-coming women's fighter. She's 7-1. Yeah,
She'll get a look back. Trust.
Yeah. So, part 2 on the early prelims, which is, we don't have enough women's fighters to. I digress. Chaos Williams starts off the prelims versus Uz Murdik.
Is he fighting?
No, didn't Chaos sign against someone else?
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's against Gustafsson.
Gustafson, yeah. So this isn't even true.
That'll be
but
fun.
Chaos Williams, who's coming off of a loss to. Oh, he got submitted with an arm triangle.
He lose?
That he won by left hook. I don't. Oh, who did he lose to?
He did lose to Gabriel Bonfim. Yep.
Yep.
I'll be damned.
Submission.
He's still pretty good though. Yeah.
Yeah, his last 2 fights have been Apex cards, Chaos Williams, so I don't know if that means anything now being back on that pay-per-view. Sergi Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, the Dominican Republic. He's 13-1. I'm excited to see Waldo. He's a heavyweight, 6'4", kind of an interesting prospect guy. Dominican. There's not a whole bunch of many Dominican fighters. watch. Sergey Spivak, obviously, too. He's done some cool things. Azamat Murakanov versus Brenson Ribeiro. Azamat, Jesus. Fucking Dagestanis. He's a heavy favorite. He's 14-0. He's a Dagestani. He's pretty good. Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. Joshua Van, who's kind of been cold since coming to the UFC, but came as like a really highly touted prospect. Be interesting to see what he does. He's very short. There's a flyweight.
He had a
down.
good win his last fight, if I remember correctly.
But I think he lost at 300, right?
That's his last fight? No way. Hold up.
No, he won at 306.
He
It was
won
another
against
bad
Ray
fight.
Syria, and Ray's not too bad. But yeah,
No,
he
he's
definitely.
not. And then Cody Durden, he beat Edgar Chariez at UFC Noche. He won, but his Charles Johnson fight he lost, which is a fight he really should have won. Nunez, UFC Fight Night in 2024. But Van's a good fighter. That's another good fight. Vincent Luque versus Kevin Holland. We're a big Kevin Holland fan on
Yeah.
this
Still crazy, Luque.
podcast.
Nice.
Still going.
Still crazy, Luque. Yeah, still like able to fight.
Yeah, well, those heavier weights, welterweight. Kevin Holland cutting back down to welterweight. We've seen a lot of him at middleweight and welterweight, so that'll be interesting. We'll see what we're doing on that fight. Right now, it looks like Vincent Luque is the slight underdog. Kevin Holland -230 favorite. Mario Bautista is the -300 favorite versus Patchy Mix, making his UFC debut. Are we going for Patchy
Easy
Mix?
money,
Howard?
easy money, Patchy Mix. Easy money, Patchy Mix.
Wow.
Book it, book it, book it.
All-time name, obviously, Patchy Mix, but we'll see.
Dog.
Mario
Do with a
Bautista's
dog in
favorite,
PFL for sure.
in his last fight, so I believe. Yeah, I mean, he's at least 5-0. He's done some really good stuff. I mean, Jose Aldo, Ricky Simone, Damone Blackshear. Just to name a few of his most recent. Kevin Gastelum, he returns against Joe Pfeiffer. Have a cool middleweight bout. Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison. We'll see the women's bantamweight bout. If Kayla Harrison wins, we see Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, have to.
Yeah.
Have to for sure.
Have to.
Kayla Harrison is built like
Allegedly on roids, according to Julia Pena. But
yeah. Well, she's buffer than Kyle. If that.
Well, that's not fair.
she's always flexing in press. She's always
Is there
flexing
a
in press
single?
conferences.
Is there a single UFC fighter that isn't buffer than me?
Yeah.
Derek Lewis.
Fucking Sean Woodson.
Am I supposed to be like?
Sean Brady.
Am I supposed to be like accepting these? Are
Sean
these supposed to be
Brady's
compliments?
huge. Sean Brady's got the best tats in fucking.
Bro,
yeah,
she's bigger than Cole Weber.
She is jacked, and she
She's-
will let you know for sure every press
This is
conference that
crazy.
she's
Why
on,
am
that
I
she's
being compared
fucking-
to UFC fighters? I go to Planet Fitness and I just get a couple of curls once
Well,
in a
there's
while.
your problem right there, Kyle.
Sorry, bro. I don't have enough money to go to like Brad. What's that kid's name? Bradley, whatever that dude's name is. Jim.
The bodybuilders.
Bradley Martin.
Brad Martin. Sorry, I can't go to his gym.
Fair.
I don't eat like 5 million calories a day. What do we
In our
got?
main event this evening, Merab Diavishvili will be.
How is
Wash-
P4 so
Wash-
tiny?
Wawashvili.
He's so tiny. Oh, it's his green
Uh,
screen.
What?
Oh my god.
Welcome to the podcast, Kyle.
Oh, by the way, no, it's
Merab takes
magic.
on
It's
Sugar
magic.
Sean. Sugar Sean
He's in
has
the-
not
he's
fought
in the
since his loss
website.
to Merab because of the lighting at UFC Noche. Don't listen to Nick Howard. And Merab has beaten Umar since. So Dana White privilege, absolutely. Should Sean have fought anyone else? Maybe not. I don't know. But this is the fight we're getting. We'll see. Merab is a machine, and Suga, round 2 knockout. All right, that's it for UFC 316. We're not going to do predictions. We're going to see how the betting odds look.
P4 may lose a lot of money next weekend.
We're gonna give P4 broke.
All right. Since it is the final.
Oh man, we'll see.
We have this to do too. The pod is running long, but we got 10 questions of Smart or Dumb
Guys, we
to do
need
tonight.
We need to
So,
know who Lab or Ator Eek Red Rum Room is.
Oh well.
I just got chats saying the 4 tickling sphincter crunchers.
Here is your current scores. You have P4 winning right now with 8 points, myself with 6, and Howard down there lone on the totem pole at 3 points. There are 10 points you can get today. We will be spinning the wheel to end the pod. But K-Stout, let's try to run through these quick so we keep the pod kind of under 2 hours. It is getting late. Some of us got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, we got
Allegedly.
allegedly. Guys, got a couple of good ones I thought of. I thought of them last week. I changed a couple, but we're good. Guys, number 1, it's an NBA question. NBA. First question. What team has won the NBA Finals more recently? The Oklahoma City Thunder, not the Seattle Sonics, the Oklahoma City Thunder, or the Pacers. What is the right answer? You have your whiteboards. Who has won the NBA Finals more recently? There is a right answer out there. What is it? Oklahoma City Thunder or the Pacers? You have 10 seconds left. I need the pens down, the markers down. Who has the answer? I have none, neither. Pacers, Nick Howard and PC are right.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell are you talking
The Pacers
about?
have not
Who said they
won.
were
Supersonics don't count.
I made sure I clarified the Oklahoma City Thunder and not the Seattle Sonics.
When you said
I was like,
not the
neither
Supersonics, I was like,
The
boom.
Pacers
That's
was
easy.
Paul George and they got the
because
closest.
the Sonics did win a title in '78.
Miller also was in the West Conference
Yeah,
Finals against the
Reggie.
Knicks,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
but they
but
never-
that's the whole choking thing.
But
and
still,
they lost.
yeah. Yep.
Guys, great job. I'm glad that we had. I was excited to see if one person got that right. Number
crazy.
2.
That's the first question.
What MLB team throughout the entirety of the MLB has the most MVPs?
Fuck.
I'm just gonna go for. Don't think about this too difficult. It's got to be a team that's been really, really good, right? You would think.
We have 5 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who is it? Yankees, Giants. It is the Yankees.
Let's go.
The Yankees do
Bro,
have
listen.
the most.
I
Who's
thought
number
that was
2?
Dodgers.
Do we know who
The
number 2
Dodgers?
is?
Dodgers.
No, it's the Cardinals. Whoa! Nick Howard did not
What
know
the
that.
fuck was the
question.
last? Oh,
You should take a
Goldsmith.
point
I
away.
guess. Yeah.
You should take a point away.
Tranquilo. I'm down in this. Relax.
I want him to spin the wheel.
Guys, UFC question.
I don't want-
UFC question. Guys, who had the title reign in the heavyweight division from 2019 and 2021? From 2019 and 2021, who had the heavyweight title reign?
Fuck.
Give it. Remember, all these questions that I ask about the UFC are ones that I would know. So when you get it wrong, remember, you're a dumb. 10 seconds.
It's two people.
8,
I'm probably
7,
gonna guess the wrong one.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see it. Let me
Fuck,
see it.
fuck.
You got Stipe. You got Francis. Who was that? Francis?
Francis.
One was right. That is PC. Stipe Miocic.
That was my second guess.
Was the
God
title Rainer? Heavyweight title Rainey for the UFC.
Holder.
PC 3 for 3. This one's a bit tough. Right now, there are 4 current NFL quarterbacks that are in the top 20 quarterbacks to have the most touchdowns of all time. There are 4 current ones in today's game. The guy who is the highest out of those 4 has the 5th most touchdowns of all time. Who is that quarterback? Current quarterback today in the top 20 of touchdowns thrown of all time. Who is that quarterback?
I won't even feel bad.
I got 15 seconds on the clock. That's crazy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Who do we have? Double check Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. Nick Howard, you are wrong. You are wrong. It is Aaron Rodgers who has the 5th most touchdowns of all time. If Patrick Mahomes had the 5th most touchdowns of all time, 9 years, that would be crazy. Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers,
Joe
and
Flacco.
no,
Where's
not Joe
Ryan at?
Flacco.
Put Matt Ryan at.
No, not Matt Ryan.
No,
He
Matt
retired.
Ryan's not even in there.
I forgot the other one. There was
I
another
was thinking
one.
of Kirk Cousins.
I'll figure it out. I'll bring it back in. There was 4. I remember doing this.
Goff? No.
No, not Goff. Yeah, we'll think about it later. Guys, question number 5. What MLB team has never had a player win the MVP? There are 3 teams. Whoever has the most teams will win. That's about it. 3 teams have never had a player win the MVP in the MLB. Timer starts
Can I name
now.
like 20 teams?
No, you have to name
No.
3. Or 1 or 2 or however. You cannot have more than 3. 3 teams. The player has not won the MVP.
No, not that team.
Oh, fuck. You know what?
You have. I'll give you 10 more seconds. 9,
Should I think of a team?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What is it? What do we got? I have Rockies and Rays. I have Marlins, Cleveland's, Padres for PC. Then I have Mets, Rays, and Blue Jays. P4 wins. Mets and Rays. Mets and Rays.
Mets have never
Mets
had
have
one?
never had one. The Rays have never had one. Nick Howard did get the
And
Rays
Ohtani
right.
didn't even fucking pitch last year. Didn't play any.
The other team,
Francisco
what?
Lindor.
The other team was the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks have
Diamondbacks.
never had an
I wonder
MVP.
who won the pop. Marlins.
That makes sense.
Tony Gwynn, dude. Tony
Oh.
Gwynn was like fucking.
No,
really
oh,
good.
Padres, yeah. Marlins was.
Let's after 5. Let's check the score count right now.
Oh, it stands.
Let's check the score count right now after 5.
You want to check the score count now?
Yeah.
We'll go all the way through because
All right,
it keeps
all
us
right, all right,
surprised.
all right.
It keeps us surprised at least.
Number 6.
I don't
Do
think
I
it's.
get 2 points?
Number 6.
One
Number
point.
6. This one's a tough one. It might seem like it's directed for one person, but this is a tough one. Who has the most points in Phoenix Suns franchise history?
In a single game?
In history, all total points.
Oh, fuck. Man.
Ooh, wait. No, it might not be him. I'm like stuck.
15 seconds.
I'm
10
totally gonna get wrong,
seconds.
Man. Fuck. I know it. I know I'm gonna get wrong.
I'm
5,
taking a swing.
4, 3, 2, 1. Let me see it. Let me see it.
I changed. Sorry.
I got KJ.
I got Barkley.
Steve Nash, Barkley. Oh my gosh, you guys are all dead wrong.
It's Devin Booker.
It's Devin Booker.
Gosh dang it! I knew that.
Devin
Wow,
Booker
That's
Literally
crazy.
has the most points in Suns history. Can you believe it?
I was stuck
XXX.
between him and
Barkley isn't even top 10.
Wow, that's crazy.
I didn't. I thought so because he played for like the Sixers and he balled too.
Oh
so,
right, yeah, duh, yeah, duh.
Number 7 NFL question. Guys, there are 2 teams, 2 answers. There are 2 teams for this one. What NFL teams have the most Super Bowl losses? 2 teams. Most Super Bowl losses.
Do I get the number?
No.
All right.
You have to get the team.
No, but can I get the number from you?
What?
How
No,
many
you
they
can't.
lost?
Might.
4.
Fuck.
4, I believe. It's the most. 2 teams have the most. I'll give you 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same as last
My
time.
marker's dying.
Patriots, Bills. Who is that? Pats
I
and
have-
Bills.
Bills and 49ers.
Bills and 49ers. So PC or P4. PC is the only one who got it wrong. Nick and P4 get a point. They both had Pats. The Bills don't have 4. I meant 5. That probably. Gosh dang it! I messed that up. It was 5. It was 5. It's the Broncos and the Pats have 5. Yeah, I know PC's gonna be mad.
I mean, as long as I don't lose, I don't really care. If I lose by 1 point, I'll be pretty pissed. But it's fine.
Yeah, it's the Broncos and Patriots. They've lost 5. Sorry, I should have thought about that, Bills. Sorry, Bills fans. Haley Steinfeld spit in his mouth. Anyways, number 8, guys. This one's gonna be a tough one,
I guess.
guys. You know I'm a big fan of Halloween. It's not even close. We just started June.
Fuck.
But these 3
Actually, my bad.
3 horror movies, 3 well-known horror movies. These movies, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I want you to put those in order of when they came out. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Texas
Oldest
Chainsaw
to
Massacre.
newest?
Oldest to newest. Oldest is the first. Newest is...
Dude, my marker is dying.
The first version of this.
Yes,
Like,
the
right.
originals.
Not like the most recent.
Yeah, not the remakes, the originals. Let's be cordial here. I got 10 seconds left. PC, thank you for having your answer correct. Ready?
I just guessed.
And done. Stop
Fuck.
it. We're
I
done.
have no idea.
All right, I got.
Oh shit.
I got. One is Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas. PC's wrong. Nightmare, Texas Chainsaw wrong. Chainsaw Massacre P4, you're wrong. Nick Howard is right.
Ha! Of course. Probably looked it up on the internet. Go figure.
Bullshit. But my ass. My ass. Give me
Nick
that
Howard
point.
has the biggest cheating genes I've ever met in my life.
All right, guys. That
Watch
was
the
my
tape.
that
Watch
was
the
my
tape, folks.
that was my only movie question. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. I thought you guys would like it.
Thank God.
This one's hard. If anyone gets this, you guys are awesome. Number 9. Indy 500 just happened.
Fuck.
Guys, what racer has the most wins in NASCAR history? What
You know what?
racer has the most
Please,
wins
God.
in NASCAR history?
First name that
In
popped up.
NASCAR?
In NASCAR history, what racer has the most in NASCAR history?
Please, God.
Oh,
Oh
man.
wait. Oh wait.
Come on, guys.
If I get this right, this will be awesome.
Please.
Guys, got 10
Wait,
seconds.
am I overthinking
10,
it?
10
am I
seconds.
overthinking it? Do I know this name? Very
No, no,
You,
no, 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 no,
you
no,
better
no, no,
know,
no,
you
no,
better
no, no,
know
no,
this
no.
name, or you're
That makes me want to not change my answer.
We're done. We're done. Let me see it. Let me see
It's
it.
wrong. It's wrong.
I can't see yours, Nick Howard.
Hold up. There we go.
Dale
That
Earnhardt,
was my other answer.
Jimmy
Oh
Johnson.
no.
What did you, Dale Earnhardt? You guys are ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You're all wrong. It's Richard Petty, the king of racing.
Who the hell is that?
I
That's what I
have
was
no
saying.
idea who that
It's
is.
like if it was like Joey Logano or Kyle Busch or Kurt Busch, I'd be like, okay, cool.
Tony Stewart.
You
Kyle
guys-
Busch has been
Dale
too
Earnhardt.
pissed
Dale Earnhardt
Yeah,
too.
be
first
the
of all,
best ever.
Kyle Busch is too mad to be good at anything.
I've had too much.
You guys need to look up Richard Petty highlights, the greatest
I will
racer
not
to
be.
ever
I will
exist.
not be looking up Richard.
He is
Can't wait for the left turns I'm about to
the
see.
king of
another left
the
turn.
king of
Another left
racing.
turn. The only
All
fun
right,
part about
guys.
NASCAR is when they make a right turn.
I got a music question.
Oh fuck.
Bob Dylan.
What artist slash band, whatever, has the most Billboard 100 number one hits of all time? What artist slash band has the most Billboard 100
Oh my God.
number one hits of all time?
Please, God.
How old is the Billboard 100?
Nope, 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 nope. Kyle, don't you fucking
No,
dare.
I wasn't gonna answer that.
Thank
that was
God.
ridiculous. That was gonna be way.
There's
Dude.
two answers. There's two answers, and if it's the other one, I'm gonna be furious.
5,
Dude, my
Four.
marker died.
3, 2, 1.
Please.
PC or P4. Nick, don't
I-
show me your
I
answer.
timed
Don't show me your answer, Nick. A PC. What's your answer?
Mine's, you can kind of see it's Drake.
Drake. Okay. P4.
Oh,
Nick, show me your
no.
answer.
If it's actually
What is it? MJ. Beach Boys. Damn, guys, you guys are all wrong. I can't believe it. It's
the fucking Beatles.
It's the Beatles. Damn. That was a good answer. The Beach Boys is a solid answer. MJ was a good answer. I believe MJ was number 2. But the Beach Boys
I
is.
knew it was the Beatles, dude. Jesus Christ, I overthought
Oh
that.
man. Yeah, the
All right.
Beach Boys isn't bad. I think they had
So
like
let's-
10. The
kind of,
Beatles had 20.
You told me about this. God damn it.
All right, we're gonna start with Nick Howard. Okay, he is at the bottom right now with 3 points.
I have to be still at the bottom. No
4,
way.
5, 6, 7 points today, Nick Howard. Okay, that means P4 automatically wins if he didn't get a single question correct. That means wins. Sorry, not wins, but is not gonna be forced to elimination. I had 6 points, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them right, making Nick Howard having to spin the wheel. I got a 10 total points. P4 got 1, 2, 11 total points. P4, the main man from way out west, is our winner for this turn. And our favorite time of the week, Howard, back-to-back losses. Not showing up for podcasts really has hurt him. But we
The
do
experience.
have.
And that was
The
the pod
Punisher.
that I gave hard questions to PC and
All right, here we go. Here's some of our other ones we still have up here. There's some great ones up here, some of my favorite ones. The Dude Made Sandwich with Nick Howard really enjoy. The Ice Bucket Challenge, like
I
we're
like
back in
the same
2015.
idea for Howard.
The Star Wars Acolyte PowerPoint slide would be very intriguing on the podcast. I also really like the Taylor Swift PowerPoint. Him having to go and look at her life in total would be great. Let's see
I'll give you Aubrey's number. You can
what
get all the info.
punishment.
I probably have like 4 sources.
Oh!
We will have
That's not the god awful worst. That's not the god awful.
That's actually probably
Howard?
the best and the
That is
easiest,
not a
and
bad
probably the
one.
one that Howard would probably have the most fun with.
Yeah, it won't even be
Whoa.
that bad. 10
Boy.
slides
Whoa,
talking
what
about
did you
Taylor
say,
Swift's
pause?
career. It'll be a great
Relax,
time. We'll
I
have
should've
that
said,
podcast
but
for the next
fair
time. We
enough.
don't know. Howard sometimes shows up. Sometimes he's saving the penguins or, making sure the chimpanzees aren't being infected with the latest disease, something like that.
Hey,
So
somebody's
next time he
gotta
shows up,
save the whales
Taylor
out there,
Swift.
all right?
Our PowerPoint will be on the Dudes and Sports podcast. Taylor, or Travis Kelsey's girlfriend, whole PowerPoint on
Jesus.
her by Howard. Podcast ran really long. It's okay though. We don't mind. Let's do the last whip around. Let's start off with the guy who entered last. Howard, what are your final words to the people?
Final words. LSU baseball's balling. Sorry about it, PC, for the inner loss. PSG had 4 goals by the time that Inter had their first shot on goal. Very sad, but it happens in soccer. That's kind of the heartbreak about it. Cardinals, I hope to God at least sometime get some momentum to pick up to face the Cubs, because apparently we face them at the end of fucking June, even though we faced the Royals twice before we faced the Cubs. Weird by Rob Manfred, not shocking. Cam Ward is the GOAT. Pacers and Thunder should be fun. I think that will be an interesting series, at least between game 2 and 3. I don't know if it's going to be super big, but if Pacers pull it off, that'd be a huge upset. We'll have to see pretty soon. And boxing was cool. UFC is going to be cool going into the future. I don't know exactly what this upcoming weekend will hold. I think Patchy Mix is a lock. So if you have betting favorites, you have whatever parlays, whatever you do, Patchy Mix, lock. He is the dog in PFL. If you don't know who he is, go search him up on YouTube. Other than that, salutations, my fellow Dudes and Sports watchers.
Okay, Stout, what's your final words for the Dudes and Sports podcast?
I don't give a shit about baseball. It's boring. Just kidding. Jack Hagley up, so I do care now. But KU baseball, first time coming into the College World Series bracket playoff.
It is all about experience. Vanderbilt lost today. Number 1 in the nation. Crazy.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's always, every time we show up against, in Arkansas's presence, we can't do anything in the postseason. The NCAA needs to figure that out now. The Royals can't score runs. Who cares? Jack's up. It doesn't matter. That's cool. Sports are fun and they're not fun at the same time. Thanks, Vinadol. Lab or Tor Eek Red Rum Room. You are a crazy individual. I don't know who you are. But thanks for those interesting words. Guys, by the way, brand new record on the Dudes and Sports podcast for views. We beat it by, let me do the math here. About 39 views. 39 views. So we have 47 views on this podcast.
Our haters are our biggest motivators up here, man. Shout out.
47 views on this podcast alone. I don't know how that happened, but we have 47 views on this podcast as of right now. So thanks for everyone for listening. Spread far and wide. We're here to just talk sports and ramble about nonsense for 2 hours. Over 2 hours. That's all I got.
Main man from way out west, close us out.
Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you all for joining us. Rainier's game was cool. They came out with the win, couple home runs. There was a guy on the Angels. It was kind of interesting. He was a part of the trade with the White Sox to get a guy or something, Luis Garcia maybe. He's kind of like a highly touted prospect. He's ranked 13 on their prospect list. Missed a fly ball and left. Immediately pulled from game. So kind of an interesting little tidbit right there. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, donate via super chat. Let us know what else you're thinking, anything else we need to cover, anything else we need to talk about. Thank you all for watching. And goodbye, folks.
Yeah, so just a little bit of an update for our current schedule coming out. We will be back together next week. And then the following week, however, up in 3 weeks, we will be taking a hiatus because one of our members is going to be getting married. So we need to all be there in collaboration with him. That'll be a fun weekend. We will be skipping in we got 2 weeks left of us, and then we will have
That's me,
one
by the
off.
way. If anyone was
So-
wondering, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
'cause it's
But,
amazing.
yeah.
Pride Month, Kyle. Congratulations.
No.
You had
no.
to guess.
That's a
If
great
you had
way
to
to
guess
end.
who it was. If you had to guess who
is-
it was, folks.
This has been the Dudes of Sports podcast, and we